Grace at Work, Redeeming the Grind and the Glory of Your Job by Bryan Chapell. Overview. For many people, their job is merely the daily grind, needed to provide for family or pay for the bills. Yet, our work is a vital meaning for fulfilling God's purposes for our lives and displaying His grace to those around us. We bear God's image in our workplace, experiencing His blessings and expressing His nature through our efforts, integrity, creativity, generosity, and excellence. No earthly chore is without the opportunity to observe His divine hand. No challenge in task or in relationship is without opportunity to represent God's heart. In this book, author and pastor Bryan Chapell shares his biblical perspective on vocation, explaining how God gives purpose to our work by making it an instrument of His grace to our own hearts, as well as a way of bringing His goodness and glory into our world. Chapell explains how we can worship God by our work, rising above drudgery, duty, and self-interest with the understanding that our jobs are unique, calling for displaying God's character and care. Our work is worship, and when we see the glory beyond the grind, the mission in the mundane, and the grace at work. Ideal for Christians in the workplace, containing encouragement for those looking for purpose in their jobs, biblically grounded. Chapell teaches how the gospel blesses attitudes and responsibilities relating to success, creativity, money, integrity, leadership, and even sin in the workplace. Kingdom-minded explains vocation in light of grace Christ provides to and through His people for blessing our world and bringing Him glory. Review. What Chapell does here is something I have been enjoying Christian authors doing more these days. The talk is about taking the normal, everyday things as service to God. This is the redeeming part of the book. Chapell covers a whole array of different aspects of work: dignity, purpose, integrity, money, success, humility, glory, evil, leadership, balance, and witness. This isn't self-help slapped onto Jesus. This is looking at different aspects of work through the lens of the Christian worldview. I believe God exists and He operates in the world and through His people. The part of Ephesians 2, 8, and 9 that sometimes people forget is verse 10. What are we saved by grace through faith for? Verse 10. For good works prepared for us in advance. And your daily work is exactly where you can find a plethora of good works. It is how we evidence our faith to the world. Jesus doesn't tell us to divorce ourselves from the world, but to live our lives in His name at our jobs. And our job is to search the scriptures in how to do this in the best way possible. That's the role of Chapell's book. There are some good parts Chapell covers really well. The chapter on humility had a portion where he covered Jesus as king, priest, and prophet. At first, it didn't make much sense, but he comes in towards the end of the chapter and applies the section to us and our work. That was a really nice surprise. He also covers the straightforward parts well, like integrity, where we understand the Christian should live so drastically different from the world that they take notice just for seeing us in our work. A tall order, but one we should desire. He also provides a lot of everyday examples and anecdotes to prove his point or show its antithesis. One of the areas that I wish Campbell would have focused on more was some of the hard cases. This is not to say that the book is devoid of that. He tells a story of an investor who refuses to take profit from setting up others on his team to make money on a business that he didn't agree with as a Christian. Chapell doesn't always go out of his way to talk about these hard cases and suggestions from scriptures on what to do in general. However, the purpose of the book is to give a redemption story to work, but it would still be useful to highlight a few more areas where the gray wants to encroach into our work lives. Or on one of the subjects I really wanted Chapell to cover was failing at work, or failing in business, or failing to succeed. We need to have ways of encouraging failure as not a complete end, but even failure can be redeemed. I would recommend this book for those who are struggling with work as a Christian, or who are facing non-Christian resistance at work. Some might view this as middle-of-the-road Christian living reading, and it could be, if you're not serious about taking what you read that is based on God's word into areas of your life where Jesus rules. And as Christians, we should find those dark areas of our lives and shine the light of Christ on them, as we recognize that Jesus is Lord of all, including our work. Final grade, B+.